We've recently seen the rise of a certain genre of indie games known as roguelikes, and a subgenre of these known as roguelites. Games like Hades, Dead Cells, Binding of Isaac, Rogue Legacy, Spelunky, and many more have all contributed to turning the genre mainstream. Roguelites are the epitome of just 5 more minutes turning into 5 more hours, and have quickly become one of my favorite video game genres of all time. Today, we're diving into one of the hardest roguelites out there, but also one of my personal favorites, Rogue Legacy 2. Before we get into Rogue Legacy though, you might be wondering, what on earth is even a roguelike? A roguelike is a subgenre of RPG games traditionally characterized by a dungeon crawl through procedurally generated levels, turn-based gameplay, grid-based movement, and permanent death of the player character. Most roguelikes are based on a high fantasy narrative, reflecting their influence from tabletop role-playing games such as Dungeons & Dragons. Now, Rogue Legacy is a roguelite, which means it follows most of these principles, but the key difference is that it also incorporates some level of permanent, out-of-run progression between each run. We'll talk more about these in a bit. Let's jump right into what makes Rogue Legacy 2 such a fun and addicting game. Each run in Rogue Legacy 2 starts with you picking one of the 3 heirs to the throne. This will be the character you play with during your next run. Each of these characters has their own class and their own weapons, skills, and even unique traits. The traits are especially entertaining as they can be things like color blindness, which turns your next run black and white, gigantism, which makes your character a giant for your next run, or even pacifist, which means you cannot physically damage enemies, but you receive a significant plus percentage bonus to gold gain. You basically run around like a hippie with a peace sign, smashing every barrel in sight for that sweet, sweet gold. The more debilitating the trait is, the better the reward, which leads to some interesting decisions from a player's perspective. I could talk about these traits alone for hours, but it's best for you to just experience them from yourself. All I can say is that the whole family tree concept is genius game design. Huge props to whoever on the team came up with that idea. It really makes each run feel unique and makes you feel like your choices matter when starting your next run. Now, the gameplay itself has a very strong Metroidvania feel to it. It features an interconnected map with backtracking and allows you to quickly travel between key areas using portals. The game also features this gorgeous hand-drawn art style with beautiful lighting and effects to keep you sane amidst the madness. Throughout your Rogue Legacy 2 journey, you'll spend a lot of time in combat. Luckily, the combat is fun, simple, polished, and incredibly challenging. Most of the time, you'll be jumping around like a lunatic, dodging fireballs and massive swords as you try to stab, smack, or shoot your way through the randomly generated biomes as you collect gold and attempt to make it out and beat each area's main boss. Now, this game is hard, and I mean very hard. You will likely die hundreds of times throughout your adventures, and that's part of what makes it so appealing to masochists like myself. It's designed to be incredibly tough, with enemies featuring a wide variety of different attacks and being way stronger than you, especially at the beginning of your playthrough. Additionally, there's the added elements of RNG when it comes to the biomes generation and the characters/relics you are giving throughout your run, all of which adds to the overall challenge. This is a game that rewards skill and really punishes the lack of it. This is probably why I haven't beaten the games after almost 20 hours of playtime. However, it remains incredibly satisfying due to the immense amount of progression systems that the game features. Every single run you end in defeat, you will be left with a certain amount of gold to spend on upgrades in the massive skill tree. And you may also find blueprints that allow you to craft better weapons, armor, and even runes to give you bonuses. Once your current character inevitably dies, you're taken to the main hub where you'll meet a bunch of fun characters. But before you return to the hub, you're given the opportunity to spend your hard-earned gold on upgrades. These upgrades can increase your overall strength through simple health, damage, and armor upgrades, and can even be used to unlock new classes or upgrade various facilities that give you passive bonus effects. The upgrade system feels a lot like a traditional RPG skill tree, with each different path unlocking slowly as you choose their next upgrades. However, in this game you can unlock absolutely everything in the upgrade tree as long as you have time and patience. The upgrade system in this game will never punish a player's decision, while still allowing each unique player to have their own unique progression and experience, which is great. And when it comes to the feeling of progression and boss fights, this game really gives me a similar sense of satisfaction to the Souls games. Each unique biome features its own brutal boss fight with a unique moveset and skills that really force you to just get good. You may end up facing a boss 10 times before defeating it, coming back even stronger after each attempt. It's actually quite a satisfying gameplay loop, as long as you don't get frustrated from being absolutely destroyed on multiple occasions. Your progression is tied to these bosses, and you will need to defeat the main boss for each area in order to complete the game. Now, personally, I also enjoyed the first Rogue Legacy game, but the sequel has quickly become one of my favorite roguelites of all time. I highly recommend checking the game out for yourselves. The developers have done an incredible job designing and developing the game, as well as keeping it updated post-launch. Have you played it already? If so, let me know what you think about it. As always, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe to see more and like the video to help the algorithms. Much love guys, have a great day.